Actually, it's quite funny because so technically I'm not supposed to, well, not supposed to watch CBS shows because I work for ABC.
That's a little.
But it's kind of funny. I was watching something and I saw the promo for it was called Raid the Cage, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I saw a promo for it. And I was one of those deals where I was kind of like half watching it because I was working on something, but I had it on over here. And I think you just like randomly popped up, and I was just like, wait a minute. I know this person. Hold on. And then I took me forever to try and find the promo or find the promo to make sure it was like, oh, wait, I do know this person. Yeah.
Saying
So
I'm ready, baby, in
yeah,
every episode. Yep.
that's amazing. I loved it so much. So um yeah, so if you're ready, we
Ready to
can
go.
jump into it. Cool. Here we go. I'll do the intro and we'll go. All right. Welcome back to another live at Amplified Livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Sorry, I've been a little MIA lately. I've just been dealing with COVID that kind of ruined my holiday plans, but we're back at it. We've got our first podcast in the books for 2024. We're kicking it off with Laura Cheadle. How's it going today?
Hey, I'm honored. You're kicking it off with me. I love it.
Yeah, it's so funny. Well, it's not funny because the last time I had you on, I was in a very different headspace. It was right around the time that I found out about my mom getting really sick and all that stuff. And I think the day that we did our podcast was like the day after I found out, and it was just kind of like a very odd time for me. And the fact that you wanted to come back on is very cool. But the fact that it took us 2.5 years to do it is also very kind of
Really
interesting
that
as
long?
well.
Does
Yeah,
it feel?
right. But it's also one of those things where it was like right in the middle of the pandemic, so it was kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it was a very weird time just in general. So yeah, excited to have you back on.
Yeah, perfect timing. There's a lot to talk about.
Right, right. It's we were talking about the Raid the Cade situation, but we'll kind of jump into your stint on a reality TV show, right? No, game show.
Yeah.
Reality TV is completely different. Um, we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about your brand new album that just dropped on the first. Yep,
Very
that's
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what's for everybody that's kind of new to the podcast and all that stuff, let's give this kind of an opportunity to let you reintroduce yourself and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I like to call myself a funky solstice, and I tour around with my family band, and the new album is very exciting, but I've been doing this a long time, and I'm so excited about this album, and I'll be touring everywhere, but I grew up with music all around me. My dad's a professional musician, and this is literally born into it. It's really hard to say my whole career because there's been a lot, which
Right.
is exciting.
Yeah, for sure. It's been really cool to kind of watch your career progress over the last 2.5 years or so from the moment we first met kind of randomly back in 2021. And that was a time where I was just kind of randomly meeting people and,
Yeah.
just kind of being able to watch you release music over the last couple of years and then seeing this I want to call it your first album because I know it's like your first album under Sony, correct?
Yeah.
Uh,
This is actually my ninth album.
yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just kind of like it's like such a for me, it feels like it's such a benchmark for your career that it's so cool that we kind of reached out and was like, hey, let's get this going again. So Um, kind of let's talk about the album. How long has this kind of been in the works for you?
I've been writing this album for 4 years.
Yeah,
So since the pandemic, I was in a terrible relationship for a long time. So I started writing it while in that, and then out of that relationship to find myself again. Everyone can relate to Mannequin, and the response has been insane. It's heartbreak, it's finding yourself. It's one of those self-reflective albums. And I can't believe the response already. We'll talk about that in 2 days, actually in one day, almost at 1 million streams is just unheard of. But
Yeah.
this is definitely my best album yet. And I know I have nine, but this is the one that I hadn't written in years. I was very uninspired, but here we are.
Was obviously you'd mentioned you started writing this while you were kind of in a bad relationship and then the pandemic you know did its thing back. It's
Yeah.
so weird that like the pandemic feels so long ago at this point.
No, but then again, it feels like it was like yesterday at some moment.
Yeah. uh what kind of inspired you originally to start writing again? Because I know you just mentioned that you hadn't written for a really long time,
I
so
knew I was getting out of that relationship, and I think
yeah.
I was preparing myself for it, and I started working with my dad and another lyricist named Stephen Caban, and the three of us are like the dream team on this album, and we all just started meeting at the same time every week, which I'm not really a scheduled person.
Right.
And it kind of just the first song was Time Thief, which is my biggest hit with Sony. It's like over 1 million now. And that was the first one we recorded, which was like a pop for me. And a lot of the songs are pop on this album, pop and singer-songwriter and R&B.
Sure. For sure. And so why did you kind of decide to lead more into the pop side of things?
Because my voice can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like, think I'm just blues or something. I'm not a blues singer. I can sing blues, but
Yeah.
I hate doing the same thing all the time. It's so boring to me. And I love when artists do all different things.
Yeah.
But this album's very cohesive. It's a journey, the journey of emotions, and it's really amazing.
For sure. For sure. It's definitely a really cool listen, and having the sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's not, but having the ability to be drive 20 minutes to work and just kind of be able to immerse myself into full. Obviously, I couldn't listen to the full album in a 20-minute setting unless it was like times four, and then you kind of miss the whole point of it. But being able to come home from work last night, listen to part of it, then get up this morning, listen to more, and then on the way home, just kind of in the least amount of interruptions, I can kind of just sit with the album and just kind of enjoy it for what it is. I really enjoyed just the journey it took me on. It was really cool. So,
And we really painstakingly picked out the order of the album song order. And a lot of people don't do that anymore.
yeah,
So each song leads into the other one with my emotions and what I was going through at the time.
for sure. It lends, like you said, it lends itself to a very old school approach where, when you weren't able to like skip to the next song and you just kind of had to listen through like a
Yeah.
very vinyl-esque, and it's really cool. And I don't know if you pressed vinyl or if that was
It's
ever a discussion.
making. We are pressing as we speak. I've been shockingly selling a ton of physical copies too,
Yeah,
with amazing of CDs. But
yeah.
we are doing the vinyl, which is going to be make you guys wait for that, but it'll be
Uh,
worth it.
fair, very fair. It'll be worth it, I could tell. But when you started writing this album, was it just kind of writing for writing's sake, or did you know you kind of wanted to start? Because obviously, over the last 2.5 years, 3 years, you've released other projects, and but for this one specifically, was it just kind of like you were writing to write, or did you know, like, hey, I'm getting out of this situation. Let's start kind of documenting what I'm going through right now.
Pretty much that. You nailed it. It was like my therapy. It was
Yeah.
like, I don't know. We actually have 12 more songs that didn't make it on the album.
Mm,
So that is probably going to be bonus tracks or a whole other album. But I had been writing and writing and writing and writing. It just wouldn't stop. And we picked the ones that kind of went together. But I think it was kind of therapy for me,
yeah.
getting out of something and healing and then becoming manifesting what I have now, which is
Yeah.
amazing. But I've got now. But it was definitely an emotional experience. But there was no, this is going to be this and this is going to be that. It just completely came together.
Yeah. Now, when you started writing this, were you already with Sony, or how does Sony kind of come into play on this one?
I signed with Sony in 2021 actually.
Oh, actually, that's probably what spurred the original podcast. Now that I think about it, so
So Soul Bold Entertainment is my management company,
yeah,
and it's through Sony Orchard. And my man, they just give me free reign. I can do what I want. It's like, so I wouldn't do anything if someone was trying to tell me what to do. So
yeah,
that's what I love, and they love the project, and I think that's why it's getting so much attention. They're putting their powers behind it, and my recent TV appearance didn't hurt.
yes, yes, yes. We will definitely talk about that because I've watched the same clip over and over. Just the animated
Oh,
as
you gotta watch the whole episode. You can't
it's
watch the clips.
it's just so funny though. Like just watching some of the clips, and I'm like, oh, that's so funny. But
I
like
tell
I
you,
kind of
you don't
yeah,
watch the full episode, you have no clue what's going on because it's such an insane episode. You'll see the win at the end, and
yeah,
a journey. So you got to watch the full
for
thing.
sure, for sure. Um, so I don't know if we mentioned it, but the name of the full album is Mannequin. Just for everybody out there that wants to listen and after the podcast and all that stuff. Um, what obviously you mentioned that you kind of painstakingly just kind of chose like okay the song one you kind of went through the process and you had other songs that you wanted to include or that you had written. I how did you kind of choose between what kind of went into the thought process there?
I think we were going with the sounds that went, but I think for me it was more the journey of what I went through at each time.
Uh-huh.
It was like literally I went from month and month of what I was
Yeah,
going through. It's actually that deep. And the other songs could have fit on here, believe me, but that would have been an obscene amount of songs.
right.
It wasn't hard to figure out though at all. It was just like
Sure.
this one, this one, this one. Even the cover makes people want to listen. It all came together.
For sure. And so then is Time Thief the like lead single for this or
Yeah. Time Thief is the big single on it. Yeah.
what why'd you choose this song as the like this is the song to kind of represent the whole project?
Well, the song is so catchy. It's like insane. No matter what
Yeah.
genre people listen to, they've all
Yeah.
back. But also, that's a theme. My time felt like it was stolen for years. So that's what
Fair.
actually sparked the whole album.
Fair. 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 Is so was this the like the first song that you wrote for the project or was this
Yeah.
did this kind of come throughout like natural progression?
Not the first song I wrote, but for this album that we
Yeah.
picked, yes, that was the first
Okay.
one.
Gotcha. Got it. So it, this was 4 years in the making and it's out now. Everybody's enjoying it. It's doing really well. It, it's really kind of cool to see a project that you've been working on for so long and everything just to kind of unroll seamlessly and very much at the right time with your, like your appearance on Raid the Cage. And then, it just kind of, it seemed like everything just kind of came out at the right time.
It's crazy too, because from this TV appearance, I'm also going to be on I can't tell you what show, but it's going to be a major network you're going to see me on soon. And then a movie coming out this summer I'm in. So the whole thing is crazy. I'm a huge manifester, and I've been
Yeah.
4 years, and I went to a healer and I still go to her, but it's more of, I think the less, I hate to say it this way, the less I gave a crap, the more thing comes. When you
Nice.
don't have desperate energy anymore, like I used to as an artist, like, oh, this has to happen. Everything has been coming to me. Even you writing, come on the
Yeah.
show. Like I didn't have to write to you. And like every radio station and TV thing I'm doing, it's all coming to me. And I want people to hear that and know that you obviously have to do the work,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
but let yourself breathe and have faith more. It's a
For
big
sure.
big thing for me. I really grew in these past couple of years.
For sure. It's, and it, yeah, I've seen the growth, like just through natural watching things kind of unravel on social media, Instagram,
Yeah,
more Instagram than Facebook. I feel like
I
that's a
like
little
Instagram a lot more. I like Facebook. No hate on Facebook, but Instagram is my favorite place.
because I what when I went today to go kind of promote that we were going to be live, I was like, Instagram did it pretty good for us. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Then I went over on Facebook and I was like, oh, I forget how many people don't really use Facebook as much.
No, I'm still on everything, but yeah, I love Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is just kind of like this really cool spot. So, um, let's talk about Raid the Cage. We've talked about it a little bit. So how did that kind of come up, and like what can you say about it for
I
the
got
most part?
it's out. I got a call and I was like, hell yeah, I'm doing this. Went on and with my wife and I said I brought her on and we kicked booty. So
Yes.
it's pretty much if you didn't watch the episode, which you haven't, you're not gonna understand, but basically you answer trivia questions, and then you go in the cage and grab as much as possible. And I will spoil alert, we won. The ending is epic. I'm not gonna even give it away, but we won a lot of things. And it was just, I think I won because I didn't, like I said, I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I was just having fun. We were having fun. And
Yeah.
we're crazy.
That's it. I watched there was a video, I think maybe you had posted it, of your entire part in it.
Well,
And
that was
that's
a tiny part. This is a whole hour of us. So,
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah,
it
with
it it's
fun.
one of those things where working in the TV industry, it's
Yeah,
really hard for me to stay on top of everything that's
yeah,
kind of going on. And I saw that just kind of naturally in my own time. And like I was mentioning to you, I was like, yeah, I was just kind of watching TV
yeah.
and working on something, and I saw that pop up, and I was like, and you got to remind you that we hadn't been on the podcast in when did they start promoting it? Was it
Well, our episode didn't air. It aired December 1st. So
okay? So
we started
it
promoting it, I think, in November. Oh, God, October, maybe? October.
okay, but so you got to realize, like, still even 2.5 years, I hadn't really seen like we've talked a little bit, but it's been 2.5 years, and the fact that I just remembered, I was like, I just had that moment of like, wait a minute, I know this person, and yeah,
Because people actually see my real personality. People think I'm like this chill hippie singer that's real
yeah,
chill. I'm actually like Kristen Wiig. That's my actual personality. I'm like a crazy comedic person, if you know me. And I was so comfortable. Damon Wayans Jr. was the host, Jeannie
yeah,
host. So when you watch the full thing, you're gonna be DMing me, scream texting me because it's so much more than the clips. I can't stress
okay,
it.
okay,
It,
fair enough.
it's pretty much like just like you don't know what's gonna happen. It's like, oh my God. It's the coolest thing I've ever done. It was so cool. Yeah.
Nice. And so do you have to go out to like LA to do this, or was
Went
it
out of the
more on
country.
the East
I
Coast?
don't know if I'm allowed to say where we went, but we went out of the country. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Fair enough.
I probably can, but I don't know.
Well, given that it was probably like Canada or something, I feel like that was something they do in Canada. I don't know.
I know
Just
there was a
guess.
writer's strike going on, so we couldn't do it in LA at the time. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
That's crazy. So I forgot about that too. It's like I have a lot of friends that work out in LA, and it's like I totally forgot that was a thing for like the entire summer. So.
No.
Oh man, crazy. Oh, so it's been a really cool 2023 for you. You did Raid the Cage. You've been promoting and like preparing for the release of Mannequin and Time Thief and all that stuff. What's kind of running through your mind right now? Like, where are you at? Like mentally, where are you
I'm
kind of
on
at?
press mode now, so I'm so glad you got me. I'm gonna be touring in Seattle, Washington, and California. I'm doing all touring now, supporting the album. I'm filming a TV show. I'm gonna be in a movie. So I am busy, and I've never been happier to be this busy. And of course, I'm still recording other material, which is
Yeah.
like never stop. I just left the recording studio, so but Mannequin, I really can't stress that out of anything I've released, I think is what I'm most proud of. And coming on, it was yesterday morning. I go up and I see how many streams. I felt like crying. My dad's like, that's like going platinum. I'm like, I know. It's pretty
Yes.
insane.
Yeah.
So I really thank you, everyone, for streaming and buying physical copies. I'm the one mailing them out.
I saw you posted on Instagram. that you would hit, oh, what was it, like 900,000 streams or
Yeah.
whatever it was, and my brain could not fathom that. I was just sitting there. I was just like, wait, the numbers go that high? Like,
I've been an independent artist forever, and then I hooking up with Sony, but it's just like I've never people are like always, "Oh my gosh, this is like you're at it. You're still doing." I'm like, "This
yeah,
is my life and I know that it's in my soul and I'll never stop doing
yeah,
it." So to have validation like that is, I mean, I cried because I'm such a
yeah.
baby.
I, I was so proud of you when I saw it. I was just like, man, because like I had seen you promote Mannequin like last, like I'd just seen it randomly kind of
Just
pop
put it
up.
up like I was so busy.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my God, I need to promote
yeah.
the thing.
And I was really apprehensive about asking you because, like I said, I was just getting like
Yeah.
December 22nd, I tested positive for COVID,
Oh,
and I was just like down for like a week and a like up until like yesterday, I was just kind of like not into it, and I was worried that I was gonna have to cancel on you this morning because I was just like yesterday, I after we'd kind of set up a couple of things, I
yeah.
sat down and I fell asleep and I woke up at 6 a.m. And it was just like so bad. And but just kind of seeing everything unravel and just kind of, and I mean unravel in the best way. I don't mean it in like any kind of negative way. It's been so cool, and I felt so much happiness when I saw that number pop up yesterday. I was like, that's awesome.
And I feel like everyone's energy is just like going with mine. And I feel like we're all like, it's just like an energy thing. Because
Yeah,
I think when you change your energy, everyone
yeah,
follows. You hit me
yeah,
up, all these people are hitting me up. I'm like, this is so cool. Because
yeah,
I'm just the happiest I've ever been. And I think that album was a good way of getting all that out. It
yeah.
brings joy in.
Yeah. And I think it has to be it also has something to do with your surroundings because like I don't know what's going on in Philly right now, but Philly just seems like it's got the center of attention right now, and just like so many cool things are happening to people that are coming out of Philly or based out of Philly.
I love
It's
Philly. I mean, people are always like, why don't you move to LA? I'm like, no, I love Philly. I mean, I
yeah,
go to LA a lot. I go to New York. New York's right here, but I
yeah,
love Philly. It's like a big small town, but it's also a city, and I love it.
yeah. I I can't say that Philly. I've never been to Philly. I've been to Pennsylvania, but never Philly. And as a person from Chicago, I don't know if I could ever admit that I would want to move to Philly. Like I feel like that'd almost be a little blasphemous, but you know, it it is what it is. So, you mentioned that you're going to start touring here. Are you touring around the country? Or are you kind of picking areas? I guess I'm asking, are you coming to Texas?
Oh, I need to. I gotta. That's not on the list, but I love Texas. I've performed all over Texas in the past. San
Yeah,
Gabriel, in random place. Where else was I? Austin, of course.
yeah.
Gotta come back. I got to. I gotta add
Okay,
that. Yeah.
okay,
I'll let
cool.
you know, of course.
I'm trying like it where I'm at in Texas, so I'm in Waco. Waco is like a really cool spot just because most people that come to Texas, they pretty much just travel up and down I-35. Like they'll land in Dallas and then just head kind of
Yeah.
southwest, and
Mhm.
they gotta come right through Waco, which is really cool. And so I'm trying to do more in-person stuff and more like stuff like that. So if that ends up working out,
Definitely.
yeah.
I'll definitely let you know.
Awesome. Awesome. So albums out now, you're working on not another TV show, but you're on a TV show. You're
Another TV.
doing
Yep, it's another one. We'll
it,
see.
you're just so busy. It's really cool. What's kind of the plan for the next couple of months? Are you working on the next part? Where are you kind of at for the next couple of months?
Touring and filming. That's the whole.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of touring. All my dates are on my website. You'll see. I'm adding new ones like every day. So
Nice. And
I'm
are you touring yourself or are you bringing the band or like
yeah, I got the full band. We're fun. Yeah.
nice, nice,
Doing
nice,
all the new material, which is so fun. We are
nice,
a soft launch release party in November and people loved it. They got advanced copies and I
nice,
love being able to relive every song and perform it.
nice. So I'm gonna ask you a very tough question then. What's your favorite song off the album to perform?
Temporary Lovin'. I wrote that song in my apartment in Philly when I lived in this real tiny apartment when I was writing it. And I wrote the whole song and it's about wanting love and not just someone wanting to affection or someone just to sleep with you. And I wanted, true love, which I
Yeah,
manifested and I got after I wrote that song. It was weird. I wrote that song and then I met the love of my life like a month later. So that was a true
that's
manifestation song.
no, is was that in the apartment that you were in when we did our last pod? Because I just remember like this really
Maybe. I don't remember.
small,
Probably.
small place that you were in. I don't know.
It was an old city. It was just literally like a fortune a month,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
studio.
Well, I
But
mean,
a lot of writing in there. It was good.
yeah. I mean, in Philly, you got to imagine that it's probably not, if you're like in the city, I'm sure it's probably not the cheapest
Oh,
place
it's
to live.
no,
So,
it is, where I am now is great. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. So, obviously, super busy right now. When you do get kind of a chance to step aside from music or relax, decompress, what are you doing right now to kind of decompress?
I got back into reading. I've always been a reader, so I started reading again, and it's great to get off the phone because I'm constantly on the phone for
Yeah.
myself. So I've been reading a lot, and I feel like my vocabulary has improved even more.
Fair. Fair, fair. What have you been reading lately?
Oh God, I read autobiographies. Oh God, I'm reading this book, Summer Sisters, right now. I read all of I have just so many books.
Guys, so you're kind of just
Yeah.
reading a whole bunch of different
Oh
stuff.
God, I my attention span, like I can focus, but then I get bored with a book and then I go back and yeah.
Nice, nice. So, do you find that your reading has helped improve your writing as a musician?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like that show on Netflix that was showing how addicted we are to technology
Yeah,
it came out a couple years ago. That freaked me out because I was like, they know everything. And then it's true, you like scroll from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok with this. So that scared me because I watch a lot of documentaries. So that's when I
yeah,
get back into reading. And not
fair,
on the phone. I hate reading on the books on the phone. I like a
fair.
real copy.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. Like I told myself once that I was going to start reading, and I started reading off my phone, and
Mhm.
it gave me like the worst headaches. Like I would sit there and just read something off the phone or like a book or whatever, and it's like I'd read for 15, 20 minutes, and I just have like the worst headache. And it's like,
I
okay.
know.
And now I go back and try and read a book, and it's like now I'm like trying to find the best light because I can't see like what I'm reading. Yeah,
I got a
it's
book light, so I'm all set.
nice, nice, nice. Um, so that's improved your writing. Have you drawn inspiration for your writing from stuff you've read?
Yeah, I wrote this. The song is on the album. It's called "If You Change," and I'm a big, obviously, advocate for LGBTQIA. And I was reading this story about a boy that was bullied and inspired my song "If You Change." It's about gay rights and Black lives, and this song is like a very big equality song. So that was actually after I was reading, yeah. And it's a
Huh?
good. This song is like performing it live. People are like, it's like anthemic if you change. So that was inspired.
Nice, nice. So it seems like everything kind of rolls right back around to music.
Oh yeah, that's my life. Yeah.
Hey, that's not bad.
I mean, what else do I do? I don't really know. It's
Yeah.
always something creative. I'm always getting into something.
Hey, fair enough. Um, what are you writing right now? Are you working on a song right now, or were
Yeah,
you
I'm
kind of
actually finishing a ton of the songs that I half wrote that were maybe going to be on the album. So we're kind of like getting ready for the next one while the fire's still going. So I'm finishing one like this weekend. We're scheduled. It's gonna be fun.
gotcha? What do you think was kind of holding you up on some of these half-written songs?
No, I think because I fell in love while writing half of the song that was like a melancholy song. I was like, oh crap. But what's funny, I rectified that by
Yeah.
say rectify my vocabulary by the first half of the song was sad and the second part is happy. So it's gonna be cool.
Awesome, awesome. I was curious about that because it was like it's always kind of interesting to see why somebody leaves a project. I hate saying the word half finished because that just kind of seems like you abandon it, but
Would never,
just
yeah.
yeah. Oh, so no, I'm glad you kind of figured out a way to go back into it and just kind of figure out a way to finish the project because I don't know, I've got OCD. Like if I've got something that's like half done, it drives me nuts and I can't stop thinking about it
What's
until I
your
get
zodiac sign?
what's that? Oh, I'm a Gemini.
That's why. See,
Yeah.
I'm really in. See, there's an interest. I'm really into zodiac.
Yeah. I've had a few people like that's I've never understood it fully.
Gemini
Um,
really don't. You make
yeah.
fun of us.
No, so when I was a kid, my grandpa used to like every Sunday I'd go over to my grandparents, my dad's parents, and my grandpa would read the Sunday like horoscopes. And that was just kind of something that we always did. It was always kind of funny because he never could remember what my birthday was. So every Sunday it was just kind of like, "Oh, when's your birthday again?" And it's like, "Grandpa, come on. What are you
Oh,
doing?" But it was
it's
just
creepy, creepy dead on. If you get your moon sign, your rising sign, I'm telling you, it's crazy. That's something
yeah.
too.
Yeah. It was always kind of interesting. Obviously, in the paper like that, I'm sure it's probably there's no real
Probably not.
like science or thought behind it.
I'm like a very sensitive dreamer. My moon sign, your moon sign is your emotion. So I'm
Uh,
Cancer. Cancer is like a baby. It's me. I cry.
yeah,
And my rising is Aquarius, which means like I want to change the world. It's very me. So
yeah.
I'll do your chart sometime.
Okay, fair enough. I had somebody try and do it once over the phone, but it didn't quite work out the way I don't know. It was. I have a feeling that doing it over the phone probably wasn't the best way to do it. So
Birth time and your birth date and place of birth. I got you. That's all.
okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. No, that's really cool. And so, when's kind of the touring start? Are you touring like starting this weekend, or how quickly are you looking to start tour?
The 23rd, I'm going to Seattle.
Okay,
I'm doing tons of press for the next couple weeks. And then I take a little breaky to film a
nice.
couple things. And then February, I'll be in California for my birthday, which is very exciting. February 20th to, oh my God, for like 2 weeks. And that's going to be exciting. And then I'll be coming back around East Coast doing a bunch. And we're literally adding stuff as we speak. And I have a ton of TV appearances coming up, especially
Yeah,
next week. I'll be on TV. So this is
nice,
happening.
nice. You said you'd be in LA in February 20th,
Yeah,
right?
my birthday. Yeah.
I will have just left LA, I
Oh
think. So, yeah, my buddy's getting married. I haven't seen him in 6 years, so
wow.
it's like if I can swing the financials, I'll make that trip happen. So
Expensive trip.
oh
It's what I get paid for. So
yeah, it's one of those things where I didn't realize how expensive it was, and then I was like, okay, flying to LAX, where are you getting married? And he's like, I'm getting married in North Hollywood, and I'm like,
man,
that's like that's like far from LAX,
he
and
had a budget, man.
yeah, and it's one of those things where I was like, maybe I just drive to LA. I feel like that'd almost be cheaper at this point, you know.
Seriously.
Coming from Texas, like, yeah, it'll be a drive, but I mean, who knows? So,
That'd be a fun drive.
yeah, I've made similar trips. It's always cool. So,
Yeah.
but really appreciate you sitting down and chat with me. I don't want to take up too much more of your time here. Obviously you've got a lot to be thankful for and a lot going on, but what is your main motivator right now? What is keeping you motivated?
I think just the excitement of the endless possibilities that I have discovered, and it's all magnetic and coming to me because I've changed the way I thought, and I'm surrounding myself with really good people and found love, and I'm in that place, and I got myself there. I did all the
Yeah.
work, and we're always growing, but I'm just excited about everything everything can always happen. If I want people to know that, just have faith in yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree. It's always interesting how the mindset you make that one kind of like mental mind change.
Yeah,
It and it just it's crazy how it just kind of starts to unfold, so to
unbelievable.
speak. So, and then one last question that we always ask is what's one piece of advice you have for the young musicians out there?
I think you need to stick to you. Don't let people tell you what to make, what to create, and get out from behind the sc get out from the screen. Leave the phone and go in person and meet people. It's
Yes.
not COVID anymore, and that's where I've made my biggest connections is meeting people in person. They think you have to stay on Instagram and all that stuff, which I do a lot on Instagram, but I meet people in person. They want to see the real you.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, you do have a lot to promote, so Instagram's kind of like that easy place to be right now. So, well, not easy, but So, if anybody wants to check out Mannequin or all the cool stuff that you're up to, your TV show, like all the stuff that you're doing, where's the best place to find you?
LauraCheadle.com. You can find all my links, but just type in Laura Cheadle, Laura Cheadle Music on Instagram. Type me in, you'll find me.
Awesome, awesome. Well, once again, I thank you so very much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast. We
Yeah,
cannot wait 2.5 more years. I feel like
no,
that'd just be a bad move.
I'm
So,
sending you Raid to Cage to watch right now, so you'll see.
okay. Awesome. Fair enough. Fair enough. I deserve that one. But like I said,
You're a
it
little, you had COVID and all.
yeah, fair enough. But really appreciate you. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Where's all my stop
Uh-oh.
recording? There's that. Stop.